Hey there, everyone. How you doing? Lee Stranahan. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good night. Let me just explain for people who may be new to me. I'm going to do this so you can retweet it if you want to, or share it on YouTube or whatever. I'm the former lead investigative reporter for Breitbart News. I was Andrew Breitbart's favorite journalistic experience. You can find interviews where he said that. I currently work for Radio Sputnik, which is Russian-funded media. So I tell you that because unlike a lot of media, I don't want you to take my word for anything. I want to show you stuff, and I want you to know where it's coming from. And I'm going to start with this article from Politico. Now, there's a few things wrong with this article, but go find this article. Ukrainian efforts to sabotage Trump backfire. And it talks about how Petro Poroshenko in Kiev, Ukraine, was trying to take down Donald Trump. And this is the beginning of Russiagate. Now, again, this is not me reporting it. It's not Sputnik. It's not TASS. It's Politico reporting it. And the reporter who reported it, Ken Vogel, now works for the New York Times. He hasn't officially disavowed his story, but I guess he got a better deal at the New York Times because now he reports a lot of BS. But this is a well-reported article. Read this article. Here's the title again. Just do a quick search. You'll be able to find it. So reason number one, no sane Republican should be supporting Ukraine, is Ukraine was behind Russiagate. Ukraine was behind these charges against Trump. And you can see that at the highest levels, the ambassador to Ukraine, to the United States, from Ukraine, Charlie, you'll see him mentioned in the article. He was behind this. Petro Poroshenko himself was behind this. Now, I've interviewed Andrei Telezenko, who's the Ukrainian whistleblower behind that story. You'll see Andrei mentioned. And Andrei told me Joe Biden went over to Ukraine, threw that article down in front of Petro Poroshenko, and said, what the fuck is this? Why is this out? And Biden is completely connected to this. So Ukraine and Biden are tied at the hip. And why any Republican, I'm looking at you, Lindsey Graham, I'm looking at you, Ted Cruz, I'm looking at you people who are not just for supporting a war that we shouldn't be in, but we're supporting the wrong side. I'll tell you one thing, whatever people say about Vladimir Putin, and again, personally, I've researched him. Why would you think that the media that gets every single thing wrong is right about Vladimir Putin? Why would anyone think that? So if you start to research it yourself and start to think for yourself and get outside of the media bubble, I think you'll see Putin is much more the kind of guy that the average Republican and the average American would like. He's pro-family. He's got a pew behind his office. He's a Christian. You can find that, and he's very anti-woke ideology. All the stuff you can find. This is not Putin trying to suck up to anybody. This is what the guy believes, and he's a nationalist who loves his country. And after he saw that the oligarchs were trying to fleece his country, under Bill Clinton, by the way, Bill Clinton was supporting oligarchs, and Joe Biden was supporting an oligarch you can look up. You've probably never heard of him. Mikhail Khodorkovsky, Khodorkovsky. Go look him up. Go look up Senate Resolution 322 and ask yourself why no one's ever done a story about Joe Biden supporting a Russian oligarch who'd been accused credibly of murder, killing the mayor of St. Petersburg, Russia. And yet Biden supported this guy. Khodorkovsky was a big guy behind Russiagate, but nobody, including in the right-wing media, wants to report on this. I had to quit my job at Breitbart to be able to tell the truth. I was in the White House trying to ask questions about CrowdStrike. They wouldn't let me do it. But Ukraine, aside from the stuff trying to destroy the Republican Party, which is what they were doing very clearly by supporting this phony, by helping to create the Russiagate narrative, working with longtime Clinton DNC operatives like Alexandra Chalupa. You'll find Chalupa mentioned in there. Another reason, of course, is just that they're Nazis. And the U.S. State Department right now is trying to pretend that they're not. Anybody can go look this up. I have a lot of tweets, but just go look up Right Sector Ukraine. We are not trying to protect a border in Ukraine. We're trying to protect the government of Ukraine and this group, Right Sector. Go look them up. They're literal Nazis. Go look up the 14th Waffen SS. If you want to know about Nazis, don't forget, Republicans get called Nazis all the time. The attacks, remember the attacks Donald Trump took for Charlottesville, even though he opposed the Nazis and said it very clearly. Every Republican, every Trump supporter knows the media lied about that. What you may not know is that Tiki Torch March that happened in Charlottesville, that happens every year on the 1st of January, which is where Lindsey Graham and John McCain were in Ukraine on January 1st, 2016. They have a Tiki Torch March. Go to YouTube right now. Watch, I'll show you how easy this is to see it's not Russian propaganda. So if we go to YouTube, oops, I hit the wrong button. You have to forgive me, I've been hospitalized with a few strokes in the past year, and my eyesight, which is not great to begin with, is worse than ever. And by the way, don't worry about this. If you're seeing this, this is research. This is the Exotic Revolution pole dance off in St. Petersburg, Russia. And I feel that as someone who works for Russian-funded media, I may need to go over here and cover this. I'm just saying. So feel free, gentlemen, don't get distracted by this. Here's what we're going to do. Type in Tiki, or ladies, I'm not judging. By the way, they're not naked. There's nothing wrong with beautiful women pole dancing. Sorry. I'm fairly binary on that stuff. Look for Tiki Torch March, Ukraine. And you'll find very easily, this is from not Russian propaganda, The Guardian, Ukraine's far-right children, it's a camp that they have. This is from Rupli. This is funded by Russia. But trust me, they didn't hire extras here. These are the people out here. And you'll notice the Nazi flags. You'll notice some of the blood and soil flags. But let's see what else. Here's, even if you look up Tiki Torch Ukraine, Charlottesville, you wonder why the media was so focused on Charlottesville. They're distracting from what the Obama administration and Joe Biden were supporting. Here's one. This is from BBC, not Russian propaganda.
For Ukrainian nationalists, January 1st is one of the most important days in their calendar. It marks the birth of Stepan Bandera, the leader of the Ukrainian partisan forces.
And you see he's in front of the blood and soil flag? I have a tweet on my timeline. So here's the other thing. I know this, you know this. Republicans don't support Nazis. The people supporting the Nazis here are Joe Biden and Barack Obama. And this is why in Charlottesville, they tried to make you Republicans, all Republicans, out to be Nazi supporters. It's called accuse the accuser. This is what they're trying to do. They know that all you have to do, anybody, just look up Tiki Torch March. And this is not the only example. In eastern Ukraine, the group that's in charge there, type in right, I'll just go back, I'll do it for you. If you type in right sector, Ukraine, you'll see, by the way, these reports from Vice and everything are pretty good, actually. Under fire with the right sector. This shows this right sector group is attacking civilians in eastern Ukraine. This is what Vladimir Putin is opposed to. And here they are. Here's the right sector. That's who this is. That's a big, the red and black flag, blood and soil. You saw that in Charlottesville as well. So this, and by the way, here's from Radio Free Europe, funded by America. You see all those flags I was talking about? That's the blood and soil flag, right? This is a guy from right sector during the Maidan. The Maidan was where the United States, under Obama and under Joe Biden, overthrew a democratically elected government in Ukraine. Viktor Yanukovych was elected. He was not that unpopular. He was more popular than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris right now. And they had an election coming up in about 3 months. But the U.S., Obama, Biden, and Soros, go look this up, were behind the Euromaidan. Why any Republican is supporting this is beyond me. Why Lindsey Graham is not being booted out of Congress just for supporting these Nazis, just for that. No Republican should want Lindsey Graham in the party for that. And by the way, I'm not saying anything and I'm not judging, but that pole dancing video I showed earlier that I've been looking at, I'm pretty sure Lindsey Graham's not clicking on that. I'm not judging, I'm just saying. So I'll figure that one out. But Lindsey Graham, the big problem is not that he may not click on pole dancing videos without going, whatever he would do. He supports Nazis. Republicans aren't Nazis. We're Americans, and we love our country. And people like Strobe Talbot, who I've been talking about for a while from the Brookings Institute, the guy who went to college, he was Bill Clinton's college roommate. Strobe Talbot is pushing this anti-Russia narrative. Go over to Brookings Institute's website and see what they think about Vladimir Putin. All of this anti-Putin stuff has been pushed for years. So I'm just going to leave it there. What I want you to do, I've given you enough stuff you can look at and stop. You don't have to look at the pole dancing thing. But you did get that. So, okay. You're welcome, gentlemen. But seriously, go look up some of this stuff and you'll see. And then ask yourself why the New York Times is trying to intimidate Republicans and why Jim Acosta from CNN, no friend to Republicans, is up there calling Tucker Carlson comrade and talking about borscht and all of this red baiting, Russia baiting. By the way, Vladimir Putin, not a communist. The communists don't like him. Just look up. I'll just do one more quick one. If you go to a search engine and you type in Putin woke, so here's a YouTube video.
Even a killer and a political thug like Russian President Vladimir Putin can be right. He gave a speech last week warning against the cancel culture.
He says that the West, that's us, is destroying itself through woke politics. Tell me that's not a guy you would vote for right there. Anyone with the balls to come out and admit that woke politics, and by the way, he also, you'll hear bullshit about Putin, like he's anti-gay. And you'd think that if you're gay in Moscow, you're going to go into a gulag, right? Not true at all. People who live in Moscow told me they'll see dudes walking down the street holding hands or whatever. You can be gay. What he's opposed to, and he's called insane, is the transgender stuff that you and I both know is insane. It has nothing to do with hatred for anybody. He talks about women's athletics and stuff like that. Vladimir Putin, when you look into him yourself, you'll see that he believes a lot of things that you agree with. And of course, the pole dancing is for the gentlemen, but for the ladies, I'm just going to point out Vladimir Putin is a dog lover. And this is not a photo op. This is a guy, just watch the video. This is a guy who genuinely loves dogs. He's not the one doing that with the puppy. He's not going to throw it to Putin and Putin eats it. Putin takes it because he doesn't like the way the dog's being held. He doesn't hold him that way. So there you go. So I'm not saying this is a reason to like Putin because he likes dogs, because I pointed out before, Hitler had a dog. That doesn't mean anything. I'll just tell you, they want it all about demonizing Putin. Why? Because it's about demonizing the values that you hold near and dear. Life, religion, traditional values, and speaking up against woke, crazy ideology. And by the way, Putin's talked about it. He's even compared the woke ideology to Bolshevikism, which he criticized. And that is a cute thing. The other thing, if you want to know something cool about Putin, look up Putin piano, and you'll see he also plays piano. But let me just stop you there. If you have any questions, I'm Stranahan on Twitter. And unlike a lot of journalists, I'll talk to people. Now, I got to warn you. I'm just going to warn you. If you're a dick, if you come at me and call me Comrade Stranahan or something like that, go fuck yourself the same way I fucked your mom probably, and except not, not as hard as I did your mom. But if you come at me like a jerk, I'm going to be a jerk back to you. That's why I say that stuff about this imaginary person's mother, not yours. I'm sure your mother is a saint. But these people who attack me, if you come at me like a normal human being, right, and have a genuine question, I'll answer it and I'll spend time with you. I learned that from my friend Andrew Breitbart, who would always take the time and listen to people. And listen to my radio show, The Backstory, every day. By the way, I do get a little salty sometimes. This is not for kids. It's an adult show. You should have sent the kids to bed at pole dancing. Anyway, I love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.